Hi everyone, welcome to Bitcoingem Genesis NFT session. This is an altcoin analysis video and I will quickly look into every altcoin that you guys have suggested. So I have made this list of altcoins that were given by all of you. So just because I'm analyzing an altcoin doesn't mean that I'm personally bullish on it. These are altcoins suggested by you. I'm just doing its technical analysis. So let's begin quickly. What I've done is I have marked important areas for every altcoin in this list. And these areas are good for the medium term. So next 1 month or next 2 months, and we'll again revisit if needed. So the first is Ethereum. You will see five important areas. The black line that you see is the important area on the daily. If an altcoin is able to stay above it, it's in the acceleration mode. And if an altcoin is below this blue line, below this black line, it's in the accumulation mode. All right, is it clear? Again, I'll repeat. If an altcoin is above the black line, it's in acceleration mode. If it's below the black line, it's in accumulation mode. Okay, so it's very simple. If it's below the black line, and if you personally like that altcoin, then it's in accumulation mode and you should go ahead and buy it. So ETH right now is above black line, so it's still bullish on the daily. 1815, 1815 is the most important zone. As long as ETH holds this as a daily support, it will go to retest these zones of 1920 and 2000. And if at all ETH breaks this, the good zones to accumulate ETH would be 1715 and 1615. Okay, is it clear? So, sorry. As long as we are holding this low, the overall trend is intact and it will keep going higher. Okay, that's the main support for now, for the next 1 month or next 2 months. So, I think it is clear. Similarly, we'll analyze different altcoins with the same methodology. Okay. The next one we are looking at is VRA, Veracity. Again, very much still in this structure. It's come to the first accumulation zone at around 0.004. And the next accumulation zone, if at all we break this, we are still not breaking this. It's looking good. It's in fact forming a bullish divergence on the daily. But if at all we break this, then 0.0034. Sorry, these two would be very good accumulation zones for VRA in the midterm. So if you like to accumulate VRA, you should accumulate at these two prices. Once it flips 0.0047 on the daily, it will look to accelerate. Okay, that will also lead to the breakout of this. It is doing a good attempt to breaking out of this downtrend. As you can see, multiple attempts getting rejected, but eventually this breakout on the upside is a matter of time. So accumulating at good zones is always a profitable strategy in the long term, even in the midterm. Okay, the third chart that we are looking at is PYR. Again, PYR is going to approach the first accumulation zone at 2.9 and the next one would be at 2.6. So these two would be a great accumulation zones, and for it to break out and go into an acceleration mode, it will need to reclaim $3.2 zone. So overall, 2.9, 2.6 are good accumulation zones for long term for PYR. Matic has again lost an important support on the daily. You can see this zone was important, which it has lost, which is at around 75 cents. So the first area of interest for Matic would be 61 cents, and the second area would be 50 cents. These two zones would be good for Matic. As long as we hold this low, it will look to go higher, or at least it will look to trade in this range. So again, 61 and 50 cents should be a good zone for Matic. The next one we look at is Sol, that is Solana. Again, losing this daily support of at around 24 to $25 region. Very important support. This was a breakout, but it did not hold this over here. Let's see if it can quickly come down and reclaim this. But if you want to accumulate at a safer zone for Solana, then the first zone to accumulate would be at around $17, 16.69. But yeah, you can accumulate slightly higher at 17. And the next major area for Solana that I see is at around $10. So these are the two zones where I would like to accumulate Solana if I am interested in it, and or else it would be a reclaim of $25 zone. Okay, the next one is Arbitrum. Arbitrum again very similar, lost the important acceleration support on the daily, which was at around $1.2 region. First area of interest for Arbitrum would be 1.05, and the second area would be 90 cents. These two areas would be important for Arbitrum on the short term, mid term plan if you're looking to accumulate Arbitrum. The next is Filecoin. First area of interest for Filecoin would be $3.7. Second area of interest would be $3.2. For it to break out of this accumulation range, it needs to reclaim 4.38. So consider $4.4 region. You can see in this recent price action how this zone has been very important. So it needs to reclaim this zone for acceleration. But if you get to buy at around 3.7, 3.2, that would be an amazing buying opportunity for Phil, in my opinion. Okay, March, as I had shared yesterday, it looks like bottoming. It's showing strength, and you can see that today that while all the market, majorly all the market is red, March is holding well. So it's showing a good sign, showing good strength. It has hit the first accumulation zone a few days ago, which is at around 0.087. So at around 0.09, even at the current price, it's not a bad time to accumulate, and it's a micro cap. And the next interesting zone for March can be 0.07. If we get some good Bitcoin correction, we can also see March at 0.07, which can be a good accumulation zone. Once March breaks this 10-cent region, 10.5, so consider 11 cent. Once it breaks this on the daily, it should start a new acceleration for itself. That's March. Next is Render. Render again approaching first area of interest, that is at around 1.65. So around 1.65 to 1.7 you can consider Render. That is the first area of interest, and the next area would be at 1.4. So the major support for Render is this zone, and as long as it's holding this zone, these are the good areas to enter and ride the attempt of going higher. Okay, for Render, the important area to break is at around $2. So 1.97, that's $2. As long as Render is below 2, it's in the accumulation mode. It has lost the acceleration mode. Once it breaks 2, 2.25 and 2.5 would be the next two important resistance for Render in the midterm. Next is Link. Link is currently testing the daily support for me, which is a very important accumulation region, which is at around 7.18, so 7.2. To me, this is a very important zone for Link. Year long, this price has been that seesaw for Link. Any breakout, any acceptance above this price zone has led to acceleration to 9.4. So for me, 7.2 is very important for Link. As long as Link stays above 7.2, It will try to accelerate 8.4 and 9.4. These two would be important zones for Link. But if at all we see some kind of crash because of Bitcoin, then the first area of interest for Link would be at around $6, 5.9, but you can consider 6. And the second area would be this low at 4.7. Next is AKT. AKT is currently, it's on the border. I cannot say it's completely bearish still on the daily, but it's losing its momentum. Just give me a minute. I'll drink some water. Yeah, thank you. So AKT for 58 cents, that was 59 cents, was important on the daily. As long as it was holding that support, it was still in the acceleration mode. But the first area of interest for AKT would be 50 cents, and the second would be 42 cents. These two zones can be a good area to accumulate AKT in the midterm. Again, pretty clear chart. As long as it's holding this low of around 42 cents, the overall structure is intact. You can see this low, this was an important low. As long as it's holding that, it will keep attempting to go higher and target these zones. So 50 and 42 can be a good zones to accumulate AKT or the reclaim of 59 or 60 cent region. The next one is SPA. Approaching a very important price at around 0.0036. Anything at this zone, in my opinion, if you're looking to accumulate SPA, is a good zone. Even the current price right now is not a bad price. Again, a micro cap or a small cap. So, this is a good zone. If at all we lose this, then I see it going to around 0.002, which again, in my opinion, if you get that zone, it should be an amazing price if you like this project, if you believe in this project. SPA, once it breaks 0.0058, will accelerate, and the interim resistance in the short term would be 0.007 and 009. Okay, the next one is CASPA. If you're looking to accumulate, the first important zone, as long as it's above this, this is actually bullish on the daily, which is at around 0.0031. But very new chart. So, this is actually still in the acceleration mode. Any dip around 0.031 can be a good zone. But if you're looking to accumulate it long term, I think 0.02, this was a very interesting zone to buy. And if we get a retest of this zone anytime in future, this can be a good buy zone. If you're lucky, if we see some crash in the market, and if you get to accumulate some at 0.013, these two are important zones, in my opinion, for CASPA. But as long as it's above 0.031, it's in the acceleration mode for the short term, not short term, but midterm. 0.44 and 0.55. These two are current resistance for CASPA. OP, again on the daily, it's bullish. It was on my list also, which I had shared last week. I think so, last week or 10 days ago. I don't remember. I had shared with all of you projects that are bullish on the daily. So OP, you can see, is performing well since a week or so. As long as it's above 1.44 or 1.45, It's in the acceleration mode. It has already almost reached the first target of around 1.8. There is also one more target of around 2.1, 2.2 where this thing can go if it keeps getting closing above 1.44. Okay. And long-term accumulation for OP, if you are looking to buy some, then the interesting zone for OP would be first would be at around $1.2, next would be at around 77 cents. These can be good zones to accumulate OP, but again, as long as it's above 1.45, it will be in a bullish momentum.
One specific folder. It's almost like a school bus. So if all the kids get on the specific bus, that bus
Whose
controls.
mic is on? Okay. The next chart is RIO. RIO again bullish on the daily as long as it's about 22 cents. Getting a daily closing about 22, it would be in this acceleration mode. You can see the importance of this zone. So being above this zone, it would keep accelerating. First target would be 28, second target would be 33 cents. Then of course it's a new project, small cap, it can go way higher. If you're looking to accumulate, first interesting zone to accumulate would be 17 cents and next would be around 12 cents. I think somebody had asked me and I told them that 17 would be a good zone to buy on our Telegram group. Again, you can see this. I did say that do not wait for 12 cents unless this support is not broken. Unless a support is not broken, do not assume the worst. Take it level by level because you might miss out on some great buys, in my opinion. Don't fear about some 10-20% swings because of Bitcoin if you really believe in these projects. The next is YOT. So again, almost on the verge of breaking out. This is an important zone which I have highlighted in black. Price is at around 0.087. So consider it as 0.09. So as long as it does not reclaim 0.09, it won't start accelerating. It's in the accumulation zone. You can also very clearly see this is the downtrend which it needs to break. But this is a good structure in my opinion. You can also make this a downtrend which has broken and now it's going sideways before it resumes higher. Okay, good bullish divergence on the daily, or you can see even a double bottom. This is good. So overall, this is a good chart. Area of interest for me, if I am somebody who is looking to buy, my first area of interest would be 0.076 or 77. This would be my first order, and also one at 0.06 if we get some buy there. So as long as we are holding this low should be your danger zone. If we get daily closing below this low, then you can say that it is going way lower because then there is literally a lot of air in between. Sorry. Yeah. As long as we are holding this low, and you can also see why this low is important. It's been a previous support. So this low is important. Sorry, this was a breakout zone. Hence this low is important. So all the areas that I'm giving you in this analysis, you can see they are very closer to the previous lows or important zones. So if you want to exit, we have very clear invalidation where we can buy lower. The next one is ORI chain, or ORI is the token. Again, it's below the acceleration mode of $2.7. The first area of interest would be 1.85. This would be a very good area to buy. And the next area would be 1.12. These are two important areas on the daily time frame. So what I'm giving you are all supports and resistance on the daily time frame. So do not confuse it with lower time frames. It's not, it cannot break instantly this support and go over here, except we get some flash crash in Bitcoin. When it comes to alt, you all have to realize, I'm sure you do, but let me repeat it again, that when it comes to altcoins, Bitcoin is the boss, and some sudden move in Bitcoin can cause higher dips, but you should not be worried about it because it's because of Bitcoin. So there is nothing wrong with the technicality in that project. It is just a liquidity game. So when Bitcoin goes down, markets go down, and that is in fact a good buying opportunities. The next one is Trias. It is below the acceleration mode, which was at around 3.87. So 3.88 or $3.9 region was important for Trias to break. And why it was important, you can very clearly see it over here, very important region, which it needs to reclaim if it wants to accelerate. But if you are somebody who's looking to accumulate it, the first area of interest would be 3.2 and the major area of interest would be 2.5. So this is where you can accumulate some. Trend is still intact. It's still in this uptrend, which is good, which is amazing in my opinion. Overall, very happy with the way this project has performed in the last 6 months to a year and looking strong. Next is Pocket Network. Below the acceleration mode, which was at around 0.03. First area of interest would be 0.022 and the second area would be 0.0165. One thing that I can see now is that there is strength in over here. You can see bullish divergence on the daily. You can also see volume kicking in. So not a bad time if you're looking to accumulate Pocket Network. Technically, it's a very good project. I think the only issue with the project has been its tokenomics, and but overall, this is important project in the Web3 infrastructure, in my opinion. So yeah, if you're somebody who's looking to accumulate Pocket, 0.023 and 0.017 is where I would place my buy orders and let it get filled whenever it can. The next is GRT. Again, lost an important acceleration support, which was at around 12 cents. First area of interest for me is around 0.096. So bids slightly higher if you want to, at around 9.7 or even at 10 cents. The next area is at around 0.078, so around 8 cents. These two are important zones for GRT and good zones to accumulate in the midterm. Overall, again, a very good project. So I think these are good buy zones. Next one is BAP or BACS, whatever you want to call it. The first area of interest it's approaching here, which is at around 0.00018. So there are n number of zeros there. So I'll make it simple at 18 or 19 is the first area of interest for BACS on the daily, and the next area of interest is at 12. So these two zones can be a good zone to enter BAB or BACS, and these are the zones where you can keep your buy orders, in my opinion. Overall, this is a good structure, not a bad structure, good bottoming, and it certainly lost the momentum. But I think I had made you all aware, whoever was holding BAB, that it has lost the momentum, and these are good accumulation zones. I think this is the last one, that's labs. So again, on the daily, as long as it's below 65, 0.00065. Again, lot of zeros, so let me make it simpler. Below 65 or 66, as long as it's below it, It's in the accumulation zone. Once it reclaims this, it would look to accelerate. First area of interest was 0.0042 for me. It did not come that low. It is holding this low, which is again very good. So if you're somebody who's looking to buy, you can buy as long as it's below here, or you can place your orders at 0.0042. And if you get some great opportunities at 2 3, these two would be good buying zones in my opinion for labs. So that's it. This was the altcoin analysis. I hope you appreciate. This was the list made by me because all of you had given this list to me, and we did approx 20-25 altcoins. And if you have any doubt, if you've joined late, please watch the video from the beginning. I've given very clear instructions as to what I am looking at and what are we analyzing. So see you all next time. Thank you so much. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.